Item: SCP-1760. Code name: Casket Garden. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures: all instances of SCP-1760 are to be contained within Site-84. The surrounding 4 square kilometers are to be enclosed within a chain-link fence topped with barbed wire. Citizens are to be dissuaded with a cover story of archaeological research. During manifestation, all instances of SCP-1760 are to be opened and the contents catalogued. SCP-1760 are then to be refitted with tracking beacons and resealed prior to the end of the manifestation. Due to the results of the 15th of November 2006 opening of SCP-1760 to 1716 and the subject's increasingly hazardous contents, this particular instance of SCP-1760 is to remain sealed at all times upon manifestation. See Incident 1760-1. Description: SCP-1760-1-15 are a series of 15 black pine coffins that annually rise from the ground at noon on November 15 in a wooded area outside Minsk, Belarus. Each coffin bears a white Orthodox cross. No other identifying marks are visible. Upon rising from the ground, SCP-1760-1-15 are always sealed and contain a full set of human remains that vary with each manifestation. These remains are always Caucasian and dressed in regional funeral attire. Autopsies have shown that these remains are always newly embalmed upon manifestation. At midnight on November 20th, each instance of SCP-1760 sinks into the ground regardless of whether or not it has been disturbed. Excavation attempts to locate SCP-1760 upon submersion have shown that the subject stops 3 meters below the surface during the remainder of the year. Instances that have been reopened after sinking have been found completely emptied of contents. Removing an instance from the site prevents submersion but causes the subject to be replaced at the next manifestation by an identical coffin. At this point, the initial instance loses its anomalous properties. These replacements appear to originate from further beneath the site. Excavation attempts to locate this point of origin have so far been met with failure. Bodies that remain outside SCP-1760 after November 20 rapidly decay within 3 hours of the end of the manifestation. The extent of this decay varies with the subject and can range from light decomposition to the subject disintegrating into ash. Remains that appear within SCP-1760 have been successfully tracked after the end of a manifestation through the use of tracking beacons. Upon recovery, these beacons have been found buried in caskets, sealed within crypts and increasingly within crematory urns, all within Belarusian borders. Remains recovered in this manner lack any of the observed clothing or embalmment seen during the SCP-1760 manifestation. It is currently unknown how SCP-1760 gains access to, reconstitutes or addresses a body prior to manifestation. Every 6 years, only one instance of SCP-1760 rises on November 15. Save for the name Pyotr carved into the lid, this coffin is identical to the other instances and has been given the designation SCP-1760 to 1716. The past contents of this instance have ranged from packed earth to animated remains. Attempts to trace the origin of these contents have been met with failure as tracking beacons cease to function following SCP-1760 to 1716's complete submersion. Investigation into the identity of Pyotr has revealed that the subject was a Minsk mortician and scientist involved in several Soviet projects in the 1950s. Recovered records indicate the subject passed away on November 15, 1959. A majority of the records of S research were destroyed by GRU Division P operatives prior to 1960. Anecdotal evidence suggests experimentation with long-term chemical preservation of human remains, as well as chemically induced reanimation and regeneration. The identities of any other scientists involved on the projects are also unknown, as such names were expunged from existing records. Exhumation of Piotr by research staff has confirmed no anomalous properties with either the remains or burial site. According to recovered Group E records, SCP-1760 was first discovered in 1961 following local reports of a casket garden being opened outside of Minsk. Upon initial containment, a plaque was discovered at the site with the following message: "Let us gather here today to honor the lives and memories of our dearly departed, such that they are given immortality upon this earth." SCP-1760 was first contained by Foundation personnel in 1992 following the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Addendum 1760-A. SCP-1760-1716 Contents Log. The contents of SCP-1760-1716 from 1964 to 1988 were recovered from Group E logs. From 1994 onward, all SCP-1760-1716 manifestations occurred in Foundation containment. The 15th of November 1964, SCP-1760-1716 was filled to capacity with packed earth. Samples matched the soil qualities of a coniferous forest. The 15th of November 1970, SCP-1760-1716 was filled to capacity with teeth. Tests confirm that the teeth were from a mixture from human, canine, feline and ophidian sources. The 15th of November 1976, SCP-1760-1716 was filled to capacity with blood. Tests confirm the blood to be human of mixed blood types. The 15th of November 1982 is greater than 17 bird carcasses. Tests on a captured specimen identified the species as Corvus cornix, hooded crow. Upon opening the casket, the specimens reanimated and attempted to fly away. The 15th of November 1988 is greater than one headless animal carcass. Tests identified the species as a Cervus elephas, red deer. Upon opening of the casket, the carcass began to move and attempted to flee the area. The 15th of November 1994 is greater than one complete set of human remains similar to those found in normal SCP-1760 instances. Upon opening the casket, the subject began to move and attempted to attack personnel, but was destroyed by agent prior to incident. The 15th of November 2000 is greater than 62 human hands of various size and levels of decomposition. Upon opening the casket, the hands reanimated and attempted to swarm researcher but were contained prior to any injury. The 15th of November 2006. See Incident 1760-1. The 15th of November 2012. See Incident 1760-2. Addendum 1760-B. Incident 1760-1. On the 15th of November 2006, at 14:30, researchers, and reported the sound of heavy breathing coming from inside SCP-1760-1716 prior to opening. The researchers waited for agents and to arrive for additional security before proceeding. Upon opening the casket, an animal carcass burst out, knocking agent to the ground. The subject then immediately exploded, releasing a large amount of bone matter that acted as shrapnel. The explosion caused casualties. Upon testing, the carcass was identified as Sus scrofa domesticus, domestic pig, whereas the bone fragments released in the explosion proved to be human. The source of the explosion has yet to be identified.